What?
Liftoff.
Lift off.
I think we went live like 5 seconds ago.
No, we went live about 3 seconds ago.
There's a delay.
Yeah, well, there's always a delay when it's you, Fossil.
Your fucking mom has a delay, bro.
Hey,
What is she like?
hey,
Never
we're
mind.
gonna go 2 for 3 today.
Yeah, whatever that means. Yes.
Playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
2-1 will be our record.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Bucks are
Yo,
up 18-7.
what's good?
Yes.
Oh, you know what's good? We finished Discovery. That's
Yeah, it's over. Well, season 3's over.
Hey, man.
very over.
We're just going to let it fly, bro.
Yes.
Let's fly. Man,
We'll get to it.
I spent a considerable amount of time, guys, watching or just kind of getting an idea for what the other, the real YouTubers out there, what they think of this episode and Discovery season 3 as a whole. Just kind of like cherry picked a few videos, just like watch like I said, just initial reactions. It's not good. There's not a lot of love for.
I had the alternative. I found somebody that said that this is the best season they've ever seen. I swear to God, I had to stop in my tracks. I was at work eating lunch. I was talking to somebody else in the room, and I'm like, "What?" I turned like rewind. Yeah, it's the best season. The writing is twit. That's what they said.
That way.
No, they didn't say it like that.
I was gonna say, are they like 17 years old? Or what? I don't know.
Are you saying I'm 17 years old?
I guess if that's how you say that word, then yes. Can you not do that? You just literally jack up our entire fucking video. Yes, thanks.
Now you got to go clip his video again.
No, I'm not. He joined back. Thank God.
I don't like it, Dave. I don't like it.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yeah, so I guess opinions are all around, all over the place, right? So
I stayed away from any of that because I'm trying to look at the silver lining for this episode.
What, that it's over?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, look, let's not waste this for this right now. Let's save it for the goods. But I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I would just say.
But
it was all right.
YouTube crowd, since I know we only get about 6 minutes out of you guys before you turn this off because you can't stand us. Just so you know, little upcoming content for the next couple of weeks since we're finally done with the TV shows here. Next week we're gonna be starting our AFI project. We've decided that we are going to review all 100 movies of the American Film Institute's top 100 list.
And yeah, it's pretty serious.
We're going to do 2 of these a month.
Yeah, under the premise of are they really as great as everybody says?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing 2 of these a month. So I hope you guys stick around with us for the next 4 years. This is going to be an adventure that we want you to come with us on. Okay. So for those that don't know what the number 100 best movie of all time is, I hope you set aside a lot of time to watch this movie so you can join us. It's the 4-hour epic masterpiece, Ben-Hur.
I believe 1961.
Look, I wasn't prepared for that, Dave.
I wasn't either. I just know that they remade that movie.
Yeah, no, we're not doing the remake.
We're not watching the remake. We're watching the OG original, 1959.
1959. My apologies. 1959.
Starring Charlton Heston. So we're starting there with Ben-Hur. So that's going to be next week's podcast where we're going to have our own little breakdown of that movie. We'll talk about some of the best scenes, favorite characters, things like that.
Has it held up to the test of time? With the 2021 lens.
Is it still good 60 years later?
I mean, and to be honest, like a lot of these movies, like I've never seen.
Yeah,
I think
Look, we
think-
talk a lot about me watching a lot of movies. I've only seen 30 of the movies on this list. So
Yeah. We all
there's
went.
gonna be a lot of new ground here.
Yeah, we all went through, and I think Jason might have seen the most, but we've only all seen about between 25 and 30-ish of these movies. So it'll be a lot of new experiences.
Yeah, I think I'm closer to like 38 or 40.
No, you were not, but that's okay.
I was above Josh.
Yes, you were. I think you were at 33. If I really had to put a number on it. Anyway, it'll be fun. 4 years.
Hey, wait till we get to movie number 49. Okay, a little silent movie made in 1916. Stick around for that one. Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's gonna come after probably one of the best ones here, which is Fellowship of the Ring.
Dave, what's your best scene? Well,
It's the scene. I thought the voice
Look,
acting was really good.
We should do the whole episode in captions
That'll go over well on the podcast.
and in black and white.
I could probably set that up.
Yeah, we could tap
Probably
in Morse
didn't-
code.
Let's
Oh my God.
but hey,
Hey,
we
then the following week we're gonna be bringing back the old bracket style gimmick, and we're gonna do top sci-fi movies.
yes. And specifically if you have paying attention to any of our other brackets, we purposefully tried to keep any other movie that was on another bracket, we left it off this list. So don't
No
want to spoil.
Predator, no aliens.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil the list too much, but it's not going to have some of the same movies, so it'll be completely new stuff. Sci-fi centric films.
Yeah. Do we leave off Star Wars and Star Trek, or do we agree to add those in? I can't remember.
I believe they are in.
Yeah. So we're doing the Attack of the Clones, right?
Hey,
nope.
That's on the list.
Hey, you know what? They can find out when they listen to it 2 weeks from now.
Find out. Misa gonna find out if Jar Jar Binks makes it on the list.
Oh my God.
Anyway, Josh, for the last time until another season of Star Trek, hit us with that beautiful intro.
Yes,
No mess up.
yes, sir.
We don't need
One
five
shot.
take Josh.
We're just gonna one shot this thing, huh?
Yep.
I'll even mute myself.
I'm trying to think. What was the last boss that we actually rolled up in one shot? Well, didn't we do like Lady Death Wish or something like that? Or Dave? What was her
I
name?
don't. I that was Lady Death Spite or
Death something.
Yeah.
And
I don't
I
think
think
we
I-
one shot it.
I feel like we did it in one night though.
That's probably true. It definitely wasn't Marigar.
Definitely wasn't Art. Yeah, or Arthas.
That first boss in Ice Crown was ridiculous. Marigar. He was not Marigar.
Yeah. Yeah, Lord Marigar.
Yeah, hey, he was fucking those spikes. Ugh.
Yeah. Sour Fang.
Sour
That was a hard
Fang.
one too, man.
Ugh. The loot ship probably one-shotted the loot ship.
Well, I mean, you just get on the ship and you get
Yeah.
free loot.
Did you equip your boots? Did you equip your
the
boots?
jetpack?
Did you equip the boots? What
Jetpack.
boot? What jetpack?
What jetpacks?
You're like, oh, you're dead.
It's a white.
Oh shit, dude.
Nobody told us about boots.
The best thing about WoW back then is if I wish I was recording every single raid we ever did, I could have made a highlight reel of Josh of every time Josh said, "Just fucking wipe it, Jesus fucking Christ." How fucking hard is it? And any time somebody opened their mouth and said, "Josh, can you just calm down, dude? It's just a game. It's just a game. Then fucking log off. Then fucking log off because it's more than just a game to me." Richard Silva.
It was, man. Come on. Who was putting in that kind of time to that game to say it was just a fucking game? Jason, was that shit
don't
just a
even-
game?
Not to Jason.
Oh, man.
Not-
It was a part-time job.
Not even to me. And I did it less than the three of us.
God.
Jason had like
Ooh.
every class at max level.
I don't. He had every tune, every class,
Every profession,
fucking
every profession.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was rating with all.
You know what he didn't have though, Dave? That blue proto drink.
He didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, he did not.
You know, all those runs and only one of us got it.
I know.
And it didn't
How many?
even have
Think
the
about how many
gold.
times we smashed that fucking dungeon every time.
I don't know. It's I don't know. It's so many memories.
Look. Tell me you guys weren't thinking the same shit though. whenever we'd fucking like get to a point where it was like, I can't believe we're still wiping on this dungeon.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I hated everything. Fucking when
Get out of the fire.
people,
Get out of the fire.
standing in
Get out of the
fire, and it's like, dude, you
out
just
of
want to
fire.
say like, you just want to like look at these people and be like,
Yeah.
what are you fucking doing? Like,
Well, the problem was it wasn't me, you, or Fossil.
no, it was never the three of us that would wipe the raid. It was always somebody else. And I'd use Time Warp, and that shit was on like a 10-minute cooldown, and we'd wipe instantly. It's like, well, we gotta fucking wait like 8 minutes and rebuff and re-eat, and David make a table, and it's like fucking all this shit, and it's like you have to run back, just run back, release. Don't wait for us to res you. You fucking wiped us. You gotta walk back. We ain't resing shit.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that, dude. Make a table. Oh,
Dude, I would make people release. I'd be like, when they would die, I'd be like, dude, release, run back, dude. Don't fucking. We're not gonna just beat this boss for you and then wait for you to just rest so you can go fucking jerk off while we're beating the boss. No, you release and run back, dude. Wait at the entrance of the dungeon.
Oh man, Dave's got some, look at Dave going rage mode over
Oh, dude, it's like coming right back to me. This shit's like 10 years old. It's like coming right back.
Dave has some frustration apparently.
Dude, I know.
Oh.
Anyway, hey,
I
Josh.
probably wouldn't even rage out anymore.
Dude, that's a bull-faced lie. Dude, that first raid, that if we all went back to WoW and re-geared, and that first raid, Josh is like, look guys, I'm just telling you, it's not going to be that big a deal. I'm not even going to get mad. Dude, as soon as it's somebody else's
Full
fault,
aggro.
Josh is going to be like, guys,
I can't
Look,
take
dude,
if I don't have aggro.
like, look, man, if you don't wait for me to pop consecration, I'm gonna have a problem. All right.
Dave, like,
I will
Josh
tell.
is like, Jason, did you misdirect? Sure did, Josh. Okay, well then, who the
What?
fuck pulled aggro?
Who the fuck pull up? Recount.
Well, it's because I knew Jason's the best hunter in the fucking game. So I asked Jason because I know he's gonna say yes, so I can be like, "Well, what the fuck happened?"
And then somebody's gonna be like, well, I mean, I thought you could hold it. Like, bitch, you didn't fucking wait. Like, I didn't say go.
Oh, I thought you could hold it. I mean, look, I can hold fucking aggro.
Oh God. Hey, man, you should do the intro. This, like, I am upset, and I haven't played that game in a long time. I'm, like, genuinely heated right now over some shit that's, like, I'm just really mad at fucking Sting Dragon for no reason. like, irrationally. It's like, I haven't seen that dude in a century.
Oh man, dude, I had Santos pop up on my fucking on my Facebook the other day.
Oh, no.
As like a friend, I immediately started thinking, "Donkey, donkey, donkey."
Oh, no! Did you ask him, what did you do that to me? It's so unprofessional. Why didn't you tell me the interview? Well, what about old Isaac Blank? When he said in the interview, we asked him, "What is your 5-year? What is your 5-year plan to get a 6-pack?" I want to read 5 books, like motherfucker. Like, are you serious? Maybe you should they should think of other shit. Dude, I almost laughed in the middle of that fucking interview. Like, without a beat, you're like, what's your next? What do you see yourself in 5 years? Getting a 6-pack, like, oh, dude. And you wonder why you don't get promoted.
And it was just like, oh, okay.
And then that guy ended up being our waiter when we all went to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
It looks like his plan was to serve us fucking dinner.
Fajitas.
I'm glad nobody watches this.
except for Isaac Blank. He's like, fuck you guys. You come back over here to fucking Don Keys and I'm spitting in your food.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, dude. We're not nice.
right.
We're not nice
All right.
people.
Here we go.
Yes.
Hello, and welcome to Three Guys and a Mic presents Star Trek Discovery Season 3, presented by CBS All Access. I'm your co-host, the Human Dart, along with...
Jason
and David Disaster.
Guys, we made it to the end of Star Trek Discovery. It's so good.
That
It's
Jason,
so good to be here.
that Jason can't even control himself. That sounded so difficult for you to get your fucking name out.
I had tears coming down my face.
I wasn't gonna let you guys ruin my one take.
Yep,
You
yeah.
had to keep closing your eyes.
That was one shot, baby. One
You
shot.
were just seconds away from losing it at the end.
Yeah, you were.
I held that thing together with duct tape and bubble gum, baby. But hey, man, we did it. We're here with the final episode of Star Trek Discovery Season 3. We
Over.
finally got the answers to the burn. We got the answers to Captain
Everything.
Burnham.
Spoilers, man. You said Captain Burnham.
Oh man, imagine that. Hey, Dave, man, what'd you think about the episode?
Well, look. Okay. It was fine. They answered every question pretty much. They left a couple of low-hanging fruit to address next season. But like, I can't be upset about them completely, because like I said, they there was no big holes left. We got everything that we wanted. Was it the best season finale? No. Like, I look at season 2's finale, and it's just like not even close.
Light years different.
Yeah.
Better. Season 2 is better.
Yeah. And so, yeah, but this was fine. It was a fine episode. Wrapped up everything. I have some issues, but I mean, I feel like we always do. So,
Fossil, what'd you think?
I'm kind of in line with Dave. It was fine. There are some problems, again, like for me, just like from a common sense perspective, I think. But I was worried, like, how are they going to wrap up all the open-ended storylines in 1 hour? And they did.
Yeah,
maybe it's not to the satisfaction that I would have liked, but they did actually do that.
Which I think is, I think
and look,
before we get into it, we should probably. I mean, I'll say that I give them props for that. That was not easy.
Yeah.
It sets us up for a completely, I wouldn't say new show, but it's going to feel like a different show.
Wide. Yeah, it's wide open at this point.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of like I thought it was like two different shows for me almost. Like you had the side where, what's going on in Discovery, Michael Burnham, that side of the conflict, and then you had the what's going on the planet, right, with Sukal and Saru and Hugh and all that. I don't know if this is an issue as much as just a personal issue of like, I don't get the Sukal thing. I don't understand why we're there. So that part of it over there, meh. The part with Burnham and everything on the ship and everything that was going on there, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was some of the best like action that happened on the ship the whole season.
So, guys, I don't know where this fits, but I wanted to ask you, because I think it could potentially change if I really went this route. I could probably forgive some of the things from this season. Now, this is more of a whole season question.
Yeah.
If you, instead of looking at this as season 3 of Discovery, okay, if you look at this, maybe if you just look at the first 3 seasons of Discovery as a prologue, okay, and season 4 is like the actual season 1, and it's spoilers, Michael Burnham is captain, and she's captain of the Discovery and leading it in this new era, right? And if they, anytime they reference things that happened in the past, a normal show, we would have never saw any of that, right? We would have just, if they, like, back to Next Generation, things that Picard did pre being on the ship.
You're saying the first 3 seasons are the story of Michael Burnham.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are the
how she got to
the captain. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you think of it that way, does it help, hurt, or it makes you feel indifferent about this first arc of Discovery?
I think it helps it infinitely.
It helps me choke down season 3, that's for sure. Because I feel like that's what season 3 was. I think that's what it started with. I think you're sitting in a room saying, "Okay, we want to end here with Michael Burnham being the captain of Discovery. Now, how do we do that?" And then I feel like everything they've done since then has been like working backwards. Okay, well, we know we want Saru to be the captain of the ship to start the year, or we know we want to have that moment. But how do we get Saru out of the chair without killing him?
Yeah.
Well, what's he super tied to? Well, he's tied to his home race very much. Well, they're 950 years in the future. What if the Kelpians are somehow involved in this? How do we tie Saru to that, right? Like, I feel like that's how we ended up with the fucking Sukal garbage, right?
Yep.
Is because they're trying to figure out how do we get Saru not die, but to relinquish the chair.
And as organically as possible.
Yeah. And as well, have a situation in which you can weaken the Federation without there being a big bad as the reason of the burn.
So so that's why they invented the burn, because they needed the Federation to be weak, and so because ultimately, right, and we're fast forwarding here a little bit, but like when you get to the end of this, presumably for next season, right, I assume, right, that there's gonna be some time pass, right? You're gonna have somewhere between 12 to 24 months that pass between this season's end and the next season, and I can easily imagine a very traditional Star Trek experience going forward, right? Because now the Discovery is going to have to, they're taking dilithium, they're reconnecting these planets to the Federation. They have
a mission.
Yeah, they have these missions where they're going to see a different world every week, which is very old school Star Trek, where they're like, go ahead.
The most important part is the fact that the story centers around the captain of the ship that is involved and the crew that is on that ship.
Yes, which is, again, a very traditional Star Trek experience. And we've talked about that several times, that we thought the biggest problem with Star Trek Discovery is that it centers around Michael Burnham, but she's not the captain, and so it makes for some awkward situations. And maybe the writers recognized that, and they were like, this way of doing things isn't sustainable, so we just need to pull the trigger and get her in the chair already. And I don't think she's ever going to be unseated from the chair, like, for the rest of the show's life. In my opinion,
at least not permanently, anyway.
Yeah,
so Book puts a baby in her.
Maybe. Hey, Fossil, how about you put that recap in us right now?
All right,
that was good. That was a good transition. I like it.
All right, well, we made it to the end, guys. The episode starts off with in the nebula on the derelict ship. Adira quickly finds our ground party within the hollow. And she has turned into...
I have a question.
John Wayne Gacy's clown?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Why they do that?
Dude, I have no idea.
Why they make her look like that?
I was going to ask you, is that... They don't say it, but like... Is that recognizable?
I don't know the name of the race, but I know that is a Star Trek... That is a obscure Star Trek race. That is like an Easter egg throwback of some kind.
That's correct. I don't know the race, but we've seen it before.
Okay. I mean, she just kind of looked like a clown to me. I don't know.
But anyway, hey, at least they did Gray up in Vulcan.
Yes.
Yeah. Gray is here, but now everybody can see him. So we get this heartfelt hug between Hugh and Gray. I don't know exactly why none of the others that inhabit her body showed up, but Gray's there at least.
Oh, Gray's the only one that's like consistently there.
Oh, I know, but like I'm just curious, like how the Hollow picked him and not like the. And yeah, to your point, that I assume it has something to do with the fact that she is so, or he is so close to Adira.
Yeah.
Now, when we get to this point, it's really a race to the finish line. She has brought, or they have brought, some of the radiation medicine, so it's going to buy them a few more hours.
Yeah.
So it's a race against the clock. Now, back at Federation, the entire Federation is firing upon the Discovery, but the Osiris ship is pummeling the shield on the outside. So we have kind of this interlocking situation where Discovery is trying to maintain just enough so that Osiris' main ship can blast a hole through the shield so that they can escape.
Yep.
Now, the Discovery is able to slip through, but just as they're about to be destroyed by the Navarre, who came to the rescue, Burnham convinces Admiral Vance to trust her. She can save the Discovery. And he agrees. So they let him
Begrudgingly. He like hung up the monitor.
he hung up the phone.
He threw down the receiver,
Yeah.
so to speak. So we have a few things going on from here. We have the bridge crew, which is trapped on a single deck, like I think deck 5 or whatever it was. And Osira is letting the air out slowly so that they die within the hour. Burnham manages to help Book escape, and they're headed to reset the Discovery's power so that they can regain control of the ship's computers. The bridge crew is attempting to blow up part of the ship so that they can close the vents as a default mechanism within the ship.
Yeah,
And
they're trying to get the ship out of warp.
Yes. And if they do so, the airlocks will automatically shut. Saru and the ground crew are attempting to get Su'Kal to understand the situation so that they can escape the Hollow and hopefully get back to Discovery
Yeah.
before they die from radiation poisoning. Now, for the sake of time, we have a long chase scene with Book and Burnham, which leads us to Book killing David Arquette.
Wow.
And I know. And a one-on-one Burnham versus Osiris, in which neither one of them can really shoot each other until Osiris puts Burnham into one of these nano tables and she gets sucked into it. And all of a sudden some phaser blast or whatever comes shooting through there, and one of them just happens to hit Osiris in the face or the back of the head or whatever.
Quick question.
Now, what?
You guys ever see that movie Pixels with Adam Sandler?
No, I stay far away from motherfucking Adam
You
Sandler.
haven't seen that shit?
I've seen like half of it.
No, that movie's supposed to be fucking terrible.
Look, man.
It was hard to stomach.
Look, here's what I tell you.
Okay.
What I tell you is it's not bad. You just can't watch it thinking you're watching Ben-Hur over here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, from a gaming standpoint, it's a fun movie. But anyway, a lot of what they do is they have this energy block that essentially breaks down into pixels. It looks like physical pixels.
Mm-hmm.
Is exactly what it looks like they pushed Michael Burnham into that wall there. Does it look like that same thing? I'm sitting here. Oh, go ahead.
No, my question with that is like, what was her expected outcome from pushing her into that? Because you get the impression similar to like if they shot it as if you were holding somebody underwater, right?
Well, that's kind of what happened, because when she gets out, she actually
spits them out. Yeah,
some of the pixel nano technology stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What even. I don't even know what that was, but apparently it was not bad enough because Michael Burnham was able to see through it enough to shoot Osira in the chest.
Oh, was it in the chest?
Yeah,
it was. She shot her like 3 times. I mean, and Osira dies pretty unceremoniously,
instantaneously.
Yeah, there was no crying or heartfelt.
I wasn't a
loss.
fan of that death at all, in my opinion.
No.
I mean, you build up Osira to be kind of like you build
The
her
main
character.
bad guy.
You build her up over the last 2 or 3 episodes as like she's like a real character. And then you let her die that way. I don't know.
I mean, she literally got killed by, like, if Burnham had just dropped the gun on the ground and the shot had gone off, that was what she did.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she shot her blind. Like, she
Yeah.
just shot forward. So, I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Now, once Osira is dead, we get back to the deck, and we use Book to jump to the Nebula because he can speak to animals. Now, after we drop our warp core into the Osiris ship so that we can black alert out of there, we pick up our ground crew just before the ship collapses. Now, to bring this to a close, it's a little bit of a montage setting where things are kind of jumping around and Burnham is giving like a monologue. Now we close. Saru has decided to take some time away, some PT, to help Su'Kal, and Burnham is promoted to Captain Burnham. And let's fly.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I just want to say, if you've been listening to this podcast, we've been following it at all for the last 6 weeks, pretty sure we called Michael Burnham being captain like quite some time ago. So
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. And again, as we discussed earlier, I think going forward, it's going to make the show make a lot more sense narratively. Does that mean the show's going to be better, worse? We'll have to see. But
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But at least, I feel like at least going forward, we have a definitive power structure.
yes,
Yep. Yep. Dave, what was the best scene this week?
Honestly, this is gonna sound lame, but to me, it's Michael Burnham being captain. I just feel like that's the most impactful scene. And it with as much like we already said, the implications going forward. And at the end, we get everyone's kind of looking at her. Everybody's in their new snazzy suits, and we get the Let's Fly. And look. Are we in love with that? I don't think we are. But it is what it is. That's going to be the thing we're going to hear going forward. So it is what it is. Yeah.
Look, let me ask you a question. Is it better than Grogu? Yes.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That is better than
I
the name for fucking Grogu.
I think it's like right on par with Grogu.
Some other
Fucking Gooby gone.
some other notable scenes. I
have
don't know.
one question before you move on
Go ahead.
to another scene. In the scene where they're all decked out in the 31st century fucking swag, right? They're looking good. These uniforms are sweet.
Yeah, they are.
Dripping.
And yeah, fucking, she's the trillest man on the planet right now. She's walking. Everybody's
And
giving her the
talking.
happy look, right?
Yeah.
What do we think Stamets is thinking right there?
Oh,
feel like-
no.
I
You
feel like
caught it too.
I feel like Stamets gives a little bit of a
There's two scenes.
side eye.
There's two scenes in which Stamets does that. When they first get back to Discovery and she is in Med Bay and she's got a big smile on her face and she looks over at Stamets and Hugh and I think Adira is there and they're kind of all together and there's a big smile on Stamets' face and he looks over and he sees Burnham looking at him and the smile fades. And then you're right. When she takes the deck as the captain, everybody's yay, it's the captain, and Stamets is right there going, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put in an early prediction for next season. She kills Stamets.
Oh God, Stamets is not going to get killed.
Look, I think Stamets' time on the show is numbered.
Well,
I mean, they don't even need him to fly the ship anymore, Dave.
Yeah,
That's
no.
right.
I mean, look, that is completely fair. That's a fair prediction. Yeah, it's an easy one.
And I'll say this: not only did Burnham fuck him over, but the Federation fucked him over too. When he went to Admiral Vance, it was like, we can't do this. I stand to lose everything. And Vance is like, yeah, I understand. Take this dude away, drag him away, put him on a ship, get him as far away from here as possible.
Well, I think the problem is, like, if we want to really really dissect this, here's the problem. Everybody wanted him off the ship because he's the only one who can control the Discovery, right?
Yeah.
But then, literally in this episode, one of the Emerald Chain guys, Aurelio, says, "Oh yeah, Book can pilot the ship, no problem." So,
are we going to just go ahead and say this is one of the major issues in this episode?
yes, and it's not just a major issue for this episode; it's a major issue from like the whole reason he got kicked off the ship. And I'm gonna be upset if the show doesn't bring, like, I want Stamets to bring that up. Basically, like, hey, you kicked me off the ship because you didn't want someone to be able to pilot the spore drive.
Oh, she didn't know he could do it at the time.
See, there's a conversation. I mean, yes, okay, that's true. But in hindsight, there was no reason to kick him off the ship.
Stamets?
Yes, there was no reason.
There was every reason.
But Aurelio himself already would have figured it out. It was very obvious. Like, because they just basically said, oh, Aurelio.
I think the major issue with this scene is this. If you just watch the show as it's played out, so they are in the power control center, whatever it is. They do the big reset. From that point, it is Book and Burnham. And from that area, they go immediately to the the bridge. At no time is Aurelio ever even in this. And Tilly says, "Hey, we got an issue here because we ain't got Stamets." And she immediately says, "Well, I think we have a thing for that. Aurelio, would you like to explain? Like, when did this fucking conversation take place?"
I mean, it was a sidebar.
That's when Aurelio goes, "Well, Book can talk to animals."
Yeah, so he can just fucking communicate to the ship in one try. He can easily pilot the spore drive on his first go.
Anyway, what other scenes?
Massive.
I don't have any. Now that I've talked about this, I've already like. I mean, look, like I said, there was no standout like, oh man, this is the scene right here.
Well, the scene that should have been Dave's scene of the week is the death of Osiris.
No, it's not. It's not good.
Dave, it should have been.
Oh,
because it should have been good.
Should have been epic.
Been a shot in the dark, and oh, hey, look, I shot the bad guy. Wow.
Shot in the dark.
One step away from you.
That's right, Dave. That's right. Hey, let's talk about oh shit, what the fuck moments, dude. How about them detonating that motherfucking warp core inside Osiris' ship?
That was pretty cool.
Killing
all those
awesome.
innocent people.
Also,
hey,
here,
fuck
go ahead.
Those kids.
Hey, here's an oh shit moment that's also a problem. How fucking big is the inside of the goddamn Discovery?
No shit, dude.
No, like it is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Hey, that was the door factory in Monsters.
Like how long? Like I'd be curious. Like how fast was that door moving whenever they were fighting in the transporter? And like dude, you can just look inside there. It's like, you know, I'm not a mathematician here, but something seems off about this, the internal structure of the Discovery. This seems to be way too much fucking space.
I'm not gonna lie. Like when that scene's playing out, I'm like, wait, we're on the Discovery, right? Like, how fucking big is this ship? Like, it does two things. One, look, the ship is huge.
Yes,
but that scene made it look like in an expanse, like humongous.
It makes it seem like there's like a pocket dimension within the fucking Discovery that the transporters use. Like, no fucking joke. Like, like it made the inside look like it's bigger than the outside, which I think is like just like, look, I'm not looking for like actual like an engineer to look at this fucking show and be like, we need to make it precisely accurate. Like, I don't need that. I just need to be like not so fucking obvious that they just did not think about this shit. That's all.
Looked bigger. It looked bigger on the inside than any of the Death Stars ever looked like on Star Wars, and they were the size of planets.
Well,
Like,
I mean, then that tells you how big Discovery's is.
I guess that's the size of a Death Star.
also, think about this. You know how much space they're wasting? Because we see them walking around in the Discovery, and it's like fucking tight corridors, and all the rooms are fucking small as
Why
shit.
can't I get a bigger room than this?
It's like,
Have
oh,
you ever
because
seen what's below deck?
because 95% of the ship is for the transporter to fly around in. The fucking stupid ass shit, dude.
I mean, but it looks badass.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what they said. They were like, "Hey, man, so like we got this scene where we want Book to kick this fake ass David Arquette through and
Once he
have
talks about killing the
have
cat.
him fall down like Die Hard Hans Gruber style. So how can we make that look good? Well, we can just fucking make it. We can just make it purple and make it huge. Like, I like it. Do it. Does it need to be
Hey, I have a
accurate?
question.
No.
Okay,
However big you're thinking, make it twice.
Yes.
Make it
Yeah.
double.
Are we disappointed the Book is the one that killed that guy? I really
She's
wanted
a
to kill him.
queen. Get out of here, motherfucker.
No, I'm not disappointed. I look.
Look,
I don't want to spoil anything, but when we start talking about MVPs for the season, his name might come up.
Okay.
look. I think that kill is better than the kill from Osira. 100%.
Way better.
Yeah, and that guy was a turd.
And look, that kill came from an interaction. He's like, which one is gonna make a bigger blood spot, you or your dumb cat? And he's like, bop, she's a queen. Like,
queen.
like, look, at least that was an interaction, and like,
Yeah.
boom, like
And
a
he got to say the
He got to say a
the
line.
cliche action line.
But like, what did Michael Burnham say? She goes, I
All
never
we
give
did-
up, or something like that. I don't know.
All we needed was Burnham to say, "Hey, Book, what happened to what's his face?" And he was like, "Oh, he fell." You know, one of some kind of shitty fucking.
Or he
action
just said
movie.
like, he had a tumble, like anything. They're like,
He had a fall.
He hit rock bottom.
he could have been like, me and him had a falling out, and then that was it.
Hey, there you go.
I should write for this show.
Oh God, it'd be even worse if you can believe it. Hey, what do we think about favorite characters for the show?
Yeah,
episode?
this episode or the
Yeah.
season?
You know what? Let's just do the season now. Let's do our season MVP.
Okay. You're
Mine,
not like mine.
mine is going to be. I'm gonna say Hugh, because I mean, pretty much he's the one consistent voice of reason on this whole fucking ship. Pretty much from the start all the way to the end. What was he the most flashy character? No. But you know, anytime it felt like they needed someone on the ship to actually like just speak, just like truth and like just general reason, he was always like, you know, just trying to keep shit like straight. When Giorgio was freaking the fuck out, he was like, "Look, bitch, you're fucked up. You need to calm down." And then we wasted 2 episodes on her. You know, so mine is Hugh. I think he did good.
Yep.
I'm gonna go way outside the box here.
No.
The
Yes,
Guardian,
I am.
The Guardian of
No,
Forever.
I know what he's gonna say, Josh. You're gonna hate it. Josh, go ahead and say your least favorite character because it's the same as his favorite.
God, come on.
It's gonna be Giorgio.
That's so stupid. What a waste. But go ahead.
I'm gonna, and here's why.
Please tell me.
Because she gave
The show got worse when she
Gipper
left.
speech. She gave the win-win for the Gipper. She gave the Rudy speech. She gave the speech that Burnham needed to hear to set her on the path to become the captain.
Are
From
you
the
talking
moment-
about when she literally just said to Burnham, you know,
Yeah.
You should be
You should be
captain.
captain.
And
Exactly.
it's like,
And from that moment, from that exact moment, Burnham's character was never the same.
but seriously, that's your favorite character?
No, that was my MVP. I think she had the most vital role in this season because she set Burnham on the path to becoming captain.
I mean, I've kind of always thought that we used MVP like that. That's a fancy word, but mostly that was just like our favorite character, kind of. But whatever. Hey, you know what? That's your decision.
I mean, look, you took Hugh, and honestly, like Hugh would be my pick. I've said it multiple times, Hugh is the only sane one on this ship.
I'm
But
going
you
Book,
took
man.
Hugh, took Hugh, so I took Giorgio.
So you picked Booker?
I'm going Book. I think from the first episode, I thought Book was a great character. He was incredibly interesting right off the bat. I like how he kind of changed over time to want to be part of the Federation, to want to be part of something when he was very opposed to what the Federation was in the first episode. I like that change over time. And I feel like, I don't know, he didn't fit like the normal Star Trek tropes, you know, like this is like more of an action guy coming in here.
Han Solo.
Sure. Yeah. And he's got a really cool ship.
Yeah.
So,
And he got a cat.
yeah, the cat was fine.
He had a dog.
She's a queen, bro. I don't know. I always felt like, honestly, I felt like he was the best actor this season too. Like he was one that I felt like was the most believable all year long.
I like it. I like the pick.
Book
Thanks.
and his ship.
All right.
What about the least favorite character?
The
Sukal?
season?
Sukal.
Yeah, for the season.
It's Sukal. It's not even close. He's a terribly written character. Is 100% a plot device to get Saru off the ship.
Saru.
I think you could also like co-star this for me with Saru. I think like his fall from grace is fucking meteoric. Okay,
Yeah.
like he went from, man, I'm so glad he got to be captain, to like
We projected him to be the MVP of the season this year. In the first episode, we said we think Saru is going to be the MVP this year. This is his year.
and
We were wrong.
we were so fucking wrong. Like,
Very wrong.
like kind of like that Seattle Seahawks Rams game. We just were not. We were not on point with that. But yeah, so I mean, Sukal, because like I said,
It's awful.
It's awful.
say it, Dave.
Yeah, it's awful. It's terrible writing.
There's not a single
lazy.
part. There's not a single part of the entire Sukal storyline that I enjoyed.
Man, like, look, and I've said this before, either both on and off this podcast. When they brought up the burn in episode 1, and they were like, "Man, you don't know what happened? Like, we lost all the dilithium. Like, the Federation's gone. Like, there was a burn, and all the dilithium exploded or whatever." Like, dude, I was like really intrigued. I was like, "Holy shit! Like, this could be something."
It's big.
Like this is big time. Like I don't know of anything that's happened in Star Trek like of this magnitude.
And it was a 5-year-old kid that caused it.
Yeah, it's a 5-year-old kid whose mommy died. Like, look, I have kids. That is a bad thing. Like, yes, this kid was by himself and he had holograms to take care of him. Like, yeah, sure, that's tragic. Okay, but does that mean that that's a good idea to cause millions of people to die? No, it's terrible. There was plenty of other things you could do if you wanted to cripple the Federation, like just fucking like literally pull shit out of a hat, and you could have done
Essentially,
it.
a spoiled child killed millions of innocent people.
Spoiled is not
Millions.
the word I would use, but sure.
Oh
I mean,
no. Well, when Saru is talking to him over the open fire, and he's saying, "So what was this event? Oh, you don't want to know. Oh, I want you to tell me. Oh, it's really complicated." He goes, "I deserve to know," and he almost caused another burn.
oh, look,
Like at that point, Saru should have said, "Hey, look, there was a war. Something happened. A lot of people died. Shut the fuck up, kid. You don't need to know the truth."
Saru should have pulled out his phaser and been like, "Gat!"
Yeah, he should have just knocked him unconscious and ended this fucking hollow.
I mean, if you want to be completely fair, they should have just subdued the child, like, or the grown up, whatever. Like, they should have, like, literally just set phasers to stun and just wrong universe. But you know what I mean? Like, at that point, he's responsible for the like completely derailing existence across everywhere. So I mean, like,
he killed millions of people.
Yeah,
he should stand trial. Admiral Vance should say, "Hey, you're still going to have to stand for your
fucking
for your
Admiral
crimes,
Vance, dude. Costing,
That's
costing everybody.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Be like Vance, be like, "Hey, Saru, like I know you're trying to take care of this kid, but he killed millions of people."
Yeah, but he did it. He did it when he was not eligible to he's 5.
To stand trial.
Yeah. He was ineligible at the time.
All right, so Josh, your least favorite.
Let me tell you a story. The Kelpians are not doing well right now on this show because Saru is my least favorite character.
Yeah.
In particular, Human Saru. Human Saru, I don't like it. One of the best moments of the show was whenever he turned around and he was back in fucking Kelpian form. I was like, oh, thank you, God. Like, this is how this guy should look everywhere he goes. Because the real Human Saru is terrifying.
I believe it's Doug Jones is the actor's name.
Yeah, Doug Terrifying Jones.
Yes.
I just, look, I really wanted to ride the jock of Saru all year long, man. I like when got made captain. I was like, fuck yeah, we were right. Like, this dude is going to be the goddamn MVP of this season. And then, man, it was just one shitty decision after another. And it just fell apart. And that sucks too, because man, it's sad when the 2 worst episodes of the season are those 2 Mirror Universe bullshit episodes. But that's the only time Saru shows up in the whole season as being fucking great.
So,
and it's not even real Saru.
Josh, you brought that up. And I know, Jason, I know you like those 2 episodes, but I'm just still curious to hear your opinion. Let's say do you think they could have done, if they would have made those episodes like 1 episode, and they would have saved another episode to do something else with it, would that have helped this season at all?
No. Look, here's the thing. In hindsight, like, if you're working backwards and you needed to get to the epic, most dynamic, unbelievable speech of all time that's going to change the course of history, then you got to get rid of Georgiou so she can say it.
You're stupid.
Look.
Jesus Christ. Jason, who's your least favorite?
My least favorite, look, I'm going to try to stay away from what's already been labeled, but I have 2 important characters that I felt like were fucking waste of time. And that's just on the totality of the season. 1, Admiral Vance.
I was thinking about that too. That was a potential one for me.
Because I don't know if he truly, while he did have some leadership ability, while he did have some direction that he wanted to go, he kept waffling. He would say one thing and then literally turn around and okay something else.
I mean, he's a good leader, dude. He's flexible on the fly, bro. I
guess. But then the other person is Osyraa.
Yep. I can see that.
You set up this whole season for the burn, and there was this big bad called the Emerald Chain. But you slow burn the chain all the way up until the end of the fucking season. And then you find out that the Green She-Hulk, the rando that was in one of the episodes, is actually the second in command or whatever. And then you kill her with a random shot
through some pixels.
From a person drowning in pixels. And you don't even give her last words. I felt like while these characters were not awful, just the use of them for this season just ended up being like a waste. I feel like the Osyraa Emerald Chain thing was just a big giant waste to get Burnham into the captain's chair.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said before, I mean, I think what helps me stomach this season is just this is the prologue that we don't normally get with other Star Trek shows. And if I look at it as, this is the Michael Burnham prologue, then I feel a lot better about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 seasons, fantastic.
I agree.
This season literally was Burnham's
It was rough.
backstory.
Yeah. It was rough.
What's next?
Issues. So
We covered a lot of them, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just think I'm gonna look at this from a season standpoint. I have 2 things. One, like, I think the show, and we talked about it multiple times, so this isn't going to be groundbreaking, but ultimately, I think this show just suffers from not having a real big bad.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
know, there's nobody at any point did you feel like really threatened by. Like, even Osira, like they beat Osira twice before she ever got to the point of taking
Detmer beat up
Discovery.
single-handedly.
Yeah. So it's like at no point did you ever really feel like oh man, this is gonna be the real deal here. This is gonna be the person. Like, she was like a pesk, a fly. Right? And that's the person that essentially ends up being presumably the big bad for the series because there's nobody else to really compare to. Her and David Arquette.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish we
I don't
actually
know.
knew that guy's real name, like the
Yeah.
character's name.
And people will be listening to this going, "Oh, I didn't know David Arquette was in that show."
yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
sorry, David Arquette. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was an issue for me for the season. The other thing was, I've never considered what the captains say. Like, you knew like engage, make it so, right? Like, those things are said and they become catchphrases over time, but it's never like, I've never stopped and thought like, what does another captain say? What does this person say? Like,
But they made it a deal in this season.
yeah. So, you have that whole episode with Saru where they're like, they're having fun with it. And I like that part, right? Like, execute. And I was just like, okay. Like, but I think it's all like they were doing all that to lead to the main event, right? The real phrase.
Yes.
Okay,
Right?
had they not done any of the lead up, and we would have just gotten like if they would have just been like, the same shot that we got at the end where it's like there's like she's quiet and then she goes, "Let's fly." Like, if there was no lead up going in, would you have appreciated it more?
I wouldn't have found it quite as bad, as cheesy. Like, I don't hate Let's Fly. Like, the longer it marinades with me, like I don't hate it. But it was all of that stuff. So now it's in your mind, like oh, they're
It's gonna be
making it a point to tee this up, right? So this is going to be yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker,
Yeah.
right? This is going to bleed. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah.
And instead, you got we're baking cookies.
Yeah. Instead, you get this moment where she sits down, the fucking music hits, it goes into this slow motion little zoom
Dude,
out thing.
it
right?
waits a long time.
Yeah, and then it's just like, and then you get Michael Burnham's stupid face with her smile, and she's like, "Let's fly," and I was just like, "All right, that's fine. Like, let's fly." And then I thought, my first thought was like, well, that's kind of stupid because they're just gonna fucking zip out of there and fucking jump. And at least they flew, they warped out. So at least somebody had the thought to be like, hey, maybe we should make them fucking fly out of there and not just jump.
Yeah.
But look, to your point, Dave, have we not had the episode with Saru teeing that whole thing up, and then has she sat down, everybody's looking, and she's like, "Let's fly."
I think you might have got a little bit hyped for it.
I would have been cool with that.
I don't know
been
if I
like,
got hype.
it would have been fine. Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
have had a second thought about it. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if we would have even talked about it. It might not even have been a talking point.
it wouldn't have been.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, to your point,
Because it would have just been her thing at that point.
yes.
But now,
Because
now it's just now it's this bigger thing.
Yeah, because as soon as they started bringing it up, you're like, oh. And then we started talking about it. Like, oh, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? What do you think it's going to be? We should make a list of what it's going to be. Like, it became a thing.
Yeah.
And then it was, let's fly.
But again, I just wonder. I know I come back to this all the time because I just remember us sitting around in a fucking room trying to come up with a name for our fucking band and trying to come up with fucking names of songs. And I remember when we fucking landed on something we liked, we'd be like, "Oh, bro, that's it.
Yeah.
We fucking got it, dude. Harmacy, let's go."
Oh, dude. And then we would tell somebody, and then they would be like, that's they'd be like, you're joking, right? You got another one? Like, you coming up with something else? And like, resistance is futile. Ugh. I mean, look,
with the lightning background, dude.
I mean, it wasn't terrible.
But somebody sat in the room. They're like, guys,
I got it.
I was sitting there last night, and it just hit me.
I was on
Let's
the shitter.
fly.
Yeah, I was on the shitter last night, and it hit me.
Yeah. Let's fly.
A bolt of lightning struck my brain. I had an epiphany.
No, but I really wish I could have seen the runner-ups, because there was more than one.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. There's probably fucking 50 of them.
Like,
and 49 of them are probably better.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
so
Like I said, if they didn't build it up, if she just sat down and she just said, "Let's fly," I'm like, "Cool, let's do it. I'm in."
Yeah. I mean, okay. Well, like, as far as my issues, like, I pretty much tried to get all my issues in naturally throughout the episode. So, I mean, I don't really have anything like season wide. I've already addressed everything that I have for it. Again, like, I think this season's going to end up being like missed opportunity. And I think for those people whoever rewatch like Star Trek Discovery, like, going forward, I almost think you can really just watch like the first 2 episodes of this season and like the last 3. Like, you really don't need anything else to really
listen to our podcast in the middle to get the recaps.
Yeah, I mean, but ultimately, I think this season's going to be one that you skip. Like, I don't think this is one that you go back and rewatch, personally.
Dude, I will if I go back and watch this. I don't do this a lot anyway, but this is definitely going to be the season where you would tell people like, you can skip season 3.
Like, I could see myself, sometime in the future rewatching seasons 1 and 2. Like, they're that good, and like, I could rewatch those, but I don't think I'm ever gonna rewatch season 3. Like, no, I'm not interested.
I'll never come back to it.
So I think that's telling of whether or not they succeeded in doing what they wanted to do.
So we know there's going to be a season 4, right? They've already booked it. I think they're even already working on it.
Yeah, it's in production now.
Yeah. So, I mean, any early quick predictions? I mean, we know they've been tasked with a mission right now of distributing dilithium to planets that they haven't been able to reach in a long time. So presumably Discovery is the new welcome wagon for a lot of these places, right?
Yeah. Like I said before, I think it makes sense to start next season. Yeah, I think it makes sense to start next season, 12 to 18 months. Like, after they've already reconnected a few planets, maybe even start the episode with like they go Captain's Log, and they they rattle off a few familiar Easter egg planets that the Star Trek fan base hasn't heard in a while. And like, oh, they're part of the Federation now. Oh, that's cool. Shit like that. It'll be an easy opportunity to like kind of get people in. And then, that I think the general gist of the show will be like, hey, we're visiting this planet. We got you a thing of dilithium. And they say, oh, that's great. While you're here, I got this problem with this fucking guy or these people. And then it'll be a traditional Star Trek experience.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to go back to that. I don't think we go back to the traditional, a totally different story every week. Like they may go like the Red with the Red Angel deal. Like, they were still going from like spot to spot, but it was all tied back to the trying to find out who that was and track that person down. I don't think we ever go back to just your traditional Star Trek episodes.
Okay.
I don't know. See, I feel like I'm more in line to think that it's going to be more of a traditional Star Trek show, but I think the one thing that they could do to spice it up for the like big fans of the Star Trek universe is filling in like the lore gap of 900 years of say planet whatever, fill in the blank, or
Yeah.
race, fill in the blank, or revisit a planet that was maybe say in Star Trek Generation or the original television show.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you could build multiple seasons on that, but I do feel like you could get that say half of next season before you introduce whatever the main story might be. But I just don't think you're going to get like what we got in season 1 or 2 again.
Yeah.
No, I feel like it'll be something like they roll up on some planet, something happened, and somehow they get blamed for it. They get blamed for the destruction of some people or some race or something like that, and it brings on an onslaught of something else that basically it's going to cause them to get exiled from the Federation for a little while until they can prove something otherwise. I don't know. Something like that. I mean, it'll be like they may have, again, individual shows where they go do this and that, but it's all going to be it's all going to be coming back around to the main story.
So how quickly do we think that they're going to enslave Book's planet so they can keep all those people that can speak to the spore drives?
Jesus Christ.
I look, dude. I don't think I don't think they're gonna recreate the spore drive. Hot take, whatever. I don't think that's happening.
So
got the
dilithium
lithium now,
for
bro.
everybody.
Yep.
If
If they do,
all in all, okay.
if they do, I could picture Discovery having like a sister ship that they're able to do one more, and maybe that's how you get rid of Stamets, and you
Put him on the other ship.
You put him on the other ship, and he says, "Look, but the only issue with that is he's not going anywhere without Hugh. So unless Hugh is also leaving the Discovery, unless
Maybe they break up.
unless you say 18 months later they're not a thing, and Stamets has gone to be on the sister ship to the Discovery, the USS Saru, whatever the fuck, who cares?
All right. So what's the one thing you don't want to see going forward with Discovery?
Giorgio.
I don't want to see Gray.
Well, I mean, that's going to happen. So, I mean...
Brother, let me ask you a question. How did they bring Hugh back? He's made up of things from the mycelial network, right?
Correct.
Not Hugh, excuse me, but Gray is enough of a life force that he could be picked up on the holodeck, which means they could probably rebuild that motherfucker through the mycelial network. Gray's back next year in pod form, okay?
My early take is Gray is the worst character in this show going forward.
I mean, he'll play zero part in the show going forward.
I mean,
but
sure.
way to hate on him, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, well, okay. So who do you think is going to have be worse on screen, Wally or Gray?
Are we talking about
There is no Wally.
Are we talking about them as acting? Or are we talking about their contribution to the show? Like, I don't know what we're
just their general population on this show.
Like percentage that they're on the show.
They're on this ship, and they're going to be a part of this show going forward.
Jason's talking about the repair bots.
Yeah, the .32s or whatever they're called.
The one they repaired and brought back the spore sphere.
Look, I think they left it open enough on this season. Like, Gray is going to be a member of the Discovery. Like, so absolutely. I think it's 100% going to happen.
Yep. I think we just start off with them there next year. I don't think we go through a whole episode of trying to figure it out. I think they just start off with, "Hey man, remember the mycelial network? Blickety blam, we did it. Here's Gray."
I think you're going to get 2 dedicated episodes of heart jerking, Sabine, Adira, Mike.
I got something you can jerk, Fossil.
Yeah.
Here's
I don't want to lose you. This is going to be dangerous.
Here's
And
how I
then-
want to. Here's how I want to do it. Here's how I want them to do it, real quick, before you complain some more.
An Avatar.
So here's what I want. I want Adira and Gray to walk in to where the spore drive is. No, the spore drive is where Stamets is, and you don't like Stamets just starts talking to Adira, and then he looks over at Gray and says, "Well, what do you think?" And then Gray starts talking, and you realize, oh, they fucking figured it out.
Yeah, they've already done it.
Yes.
I like it.
I don't. I just don't see the show doing that. If
Well,
they're going
look.
to waste two episodes on Giorgio, they're going to waste 2 episodes. on
It wasn't a waste to you.
Waste. What do you mean? What do you mean waste, Fossil? Whoa.
In hindsight, this whole season was a waste.
Oh
No, this
well,
whole
it's not
season was a
great.
prologue. This whole season is a waste, just like the prequel Star Wars movies are a waste. Because I mean, you already know where those go. So I mean, why make those movies?
Hey man, look. Here's what I tell you. I'm excited at the fact right now that season 3's done. But 2, that season 4 basically has a wide open, like,
Blank slate.
yeah. There's no fucking cliffhanger at the end of this thing or anything like that. Like, it's wide open. They can go wherever they want. They can do whatever story they want to do. So,
Yep.
you
Well,
know,
they technically
they can
had
drag
that. They technically had that with the start of this season too.
Yeah.
I know, but
They have it again.
you know, now they can do it again, but better.
Whatever this show is going to be, it's going to start next season.
Yes, like I
And
said,
so I ultimately, this season was a big waste of time for me. Like, as far as watching it, I mean, when you just look back at the total season, like, there was just so many episodes where it turns out really nothing was that important.
They could have done with 3 less episodes. Even saying cut the Giorgio stuff out. I'm saying
Yeah,
they could have done the Giorgio shit in 1 episode, but they still could have done with like 2 or 3 less episodes without that.
Yeah.
And I would have been happier had they drawn out the entire Emerald Chain conflict and resolution. They could have drugged that out 2 or 3 episodes at the end. And I'd have been happier with the outcome. Because maybe you would have done enough to build up Osira where you just don't shoot her in the fucking back or chest or whatever blindly.
I think of all the missed opportunities, not like Josh said already, not having you had Osira and she was very easy to hate. You just didn't. Her death really wasn't very impactful because
They weren't invested.
It just
in it.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, you could have
Also,
just had
hey,
her.
real quick, minor prediction. You know the president that fucking Vance is referring to.
Jesus Christ, Dave. Learn the fucking
Yeah.
names. You old fucker.
Hot take. I think it's the old guy with the glasses that was standing next to Vance the whole time.
Ah, okay.
You know what they could have done with Osira is they could have introduced her in like episode 2, right? Well, whenever we started talking about her with David Arquette's character in that bar fight.
Yeah.
So that was episode 2, right? So you could have really brought her down, introduced her there. You could have had this whole thing. You could have killed her in episode 6 or 7, if that was the thing, and then bring on whoever the true big bad. Maybe it'd be her second in command or something like that in the Emerald Chain, or whoever was actually in charge of the Emerald Chain. Bring them in then as them being like the true vicious big bad. They come on, they kill 2 members of the crew, right? And then it becomes this whole like fucking like, oh shit, like this bitch is fucking serious, right?
It's gonna be the third variation of Giorgio.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, it looks like we completed another podcast.
Look, it's better than the Borg.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know about that. I think I have Borg and Giorgio. Okay.
really?
For those
Yeah,
podcasts, for those in the podcast world, I got the Borg on top of Giorgio.
Just like she likes.
That's
Oh.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. We will see you next week. Hey, if you haven't seen Ben-Hur, you should
Watch
definitely watch it.
Because I've never seen it. not
the-
from not from start to finish.
For those listening on the podcast, we'll be reviewing all of the AFI top 100 movies of all time, and
Starting at 100.
starting at 100.
If you want to go on this journey with us, you got the next week to watch Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur, 1959.
Yeah, the essence of this is:
61.
are they as great
I think it's 59.
as everybody says?
Anyway, Charlton Heston,
Whatever.
Ben-Hur, watch it, and we'll talk about that next week. Take it easy, everybody.